Okay, let's do our speaking practice now. So let me share my screen now. I forgot. There you go. So today, one-on-one lesson with Mr. Mink, and let's see he's going to practice speaking. Okay, so let's try topic number 12 first. Today is about reading. It's about the act of reading, okay? Nó về cái động thái là đọc. It's about reading. So, Mr. Mink, do you like to read books? Or what kind of books do you like to read?
Yeah, nothing give me more joy and fun more than reading book. And you know that reading books help me to widen my knowledge about the outer world, and it also helped me to gain knowledge about many things that happen in every aspect of my life. And I myself prefer a huge range of books, from science fiction to some like fairy tales, and so that I really love to read them is because it helped me to shy away from stress at work, and it helps me to relax and focus better when I do away with my homework.
Do away with your homework, I see. So, what makes you so interested in books?
Well, you know
Like
that.
compared to other activities, why does reading interest you that much? I know that Leo people, that you guys like to read and you guys have very good imagination. I
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
for a fact because I have a lot of Leo in my birth chart. Có rất nhiều
Oh,
sư tử trong bản đồ sao. So I like to gain knowledge, and I'm also curious about a lot of things too. But what makes you so interested in books?
you know that when we're reading books, we have to be quiet, you know. So it means that we have to find a quiet place, and in that place we can find peace in ourselves, you know. Like you
Peace
can
in ourselves.
we can sit down and keep quiet in a quiet place, and not only can we can gain knowledge, but we can find some peace, right?
Right, find peace is important. Anyway, so how often do you read?
Well, I read every night, you know, before going to bed, and each day I would read about 10 pages.
Oh wow.
It's not too many. It's not too much, but you know that gaining knowledge day by day, it would make up a huge knowledge, right? So that I read, so that I read books every day and every time before I going to bed. I go to bed.
Right, okay. So, do you have many books at home?
Well, actually, I've just picked up the hobbies of reading books recently, and so that in my home, I just have about more than 10 books, and well, it's
Maybe you read ebooks more, maybe?
yeah, and but I'm trying to read all of them, and for that reason, I would buy more books in the near future, and so that I can gain knowledge every day.
I see. Right, so do you often go and buy books? Or people give it to you or something like that?
Well, um, in my experience, I would often go out to the bookshop and look for something new, and whatever I see is really interesting in the out in the cover, and I would read about for a couple of pages, and then I would buy it,
Uh-huh.
and then often read buy books, right? So um, in In my experience, I would only go out to buy books when I have read all of the books in my house, and besides some books in like comics or uh, like books at school. I have a lot of book about some books about teaching about communication skills and a lot of things that shares a life experience, and so that rarely go out to I rarely go out to buy books, and just because I uh, just go out to buy books whenever I have read all of them.
I see. Do you like to read printed books or electronic books? Electronic books or printed books?
Well, I myself would prefer printed book, because you know that although electronic books help us to approach a wide range of books in just a small place on in our phone, but you know that printed book, it would not miss anything when we uh, like when we delete the reading app on our phone, we have nothing to read, and many kinds of ebook we have to buy it online.
Many kind of what? Ebooks? Ah, you have to buy online, I see. Alright.
Yes,
So,
we have
do
to buy.
Vietnamese people do enough reading? Why not? What do you think? Người Việt có đọc sách đủ không? Hoặc là are they read enough? What do you think?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that Vietnamese people are one of the most literate in the world. You know that they're on average they they read about less than one book per year, and that's really alarming. And so that for that reason, each people need to
You mean each
take
person?
each
Each
yeah
cộng số ít nha. Each plus singular noun, okay?
each person need to take up the hobby of reading books right now, and so that they can help strengthen Vietnamese people's knowledge.
Not just knowledge, but also books improve their intellect, you know. Cái tri thức á, nó khác với lại kiến thức nha. Intellect. Tri thức. It means your ability to understand and process knowledge and to make decision. Khả năng mình có thể xử lý được thông tin, hiểu thông tin, xử lý thông tin và ra được cái quyết định đúng. These are intellect, tri thức nha. A lot of people, they have a lot of knowledge, but they don't have the intellect, you know. So they make a lot of poor decisions.
Yeah.
Họ quyết định sai lầm lắm tại vì họ có kiến thức nhưng không có tri thức. Be careful with this one. So, okay, so in your opinion, what is the best place to read?
Well, in my experience, I believe that the best place to read is probably the library. You know, having a seat there and in a quiet place like a library is ideal for readers.
Is what?
And
Is what? Say again?
it's ideal
Ideal, ideal, ideal.
ideal for is ideal for readers to like sit down, enjoy a cup of coffee, and then read books. And also, the library offer readers a huge source of information and books. So reading books there can help them to get something new to read easily. And for that reason, I believe that uh, that's why reading books at the library is a great place for people to read.
Right, I see. So, what do you think about reading books in a cafe? Or, you know, a lot of people, they go to cafe to read books, you know?
Yeah. Well, You know that the cafes offer a peaceful atmosphere, and also it makes us chill. So and but sometimes the cafe can be really annoying. It's really noisy when it's high at peak time, you know, and there would be a lot of people in the cafe, and the atmosphere would be disrupted. And so that
Think about
so
the
that
music and the background noise as well, right?
yeah, it would be really noisy and for a wide range of factors.
Mm-hmm. Right, so what kind of people like reading and what kind of people don't? What do you think? Những người nào thích trốn sau sách.
Well, I think that those who like reading books are those who love to gain knowledge, and they have um, they have the passion for for study. You know, the more they study, the more love they put on reading. And those who do not love to read, they are those people who prefer more practical knowledge, so that they love to go outside and do something by on their own, and they would gain knowledge and experience from the thing they have done. But instead of learning by mistake like them, people love to read to gain knowledge without do some practical activities and make mistakes. And so that for that reason, I believe that those people who don't love to read, they are those who are not wise enough, and they love to make mistakes and then
I
learn
don't
from
think
that
people love to
mistakes.
make mistakes, to be honest with you. I am the one
Yeah,
who write books, okay? I am the one who write books, but to be honest, I don't like reading books. It's funny. Because most of the books I read are just like, it's just a waste of time. Why do I have to gain knowledge this way? I can gain knowledge by reading online articles, coi những cái tiêu đề trên mạng như thế. Or I can watch videos, or I can talk to people, and I can observe. But it depends, you know. The
yeah,
world is not black and white. Cuộc thế giới nó không có phải lúc nào cũng trắng đen vậy đâu.
yeah,
Remember, the world is not black and white. I don't like reading books, but I write books. It's funny, right?
hmm,
Thầy đâu có
yeah.
thích đọc sách đâu, nhưng mà lại thích viết sách. Thấy mới kỳ. Cuộc sống nó không phải lúc nào nó cũng trắng đen vậy đâu. There's a lot of different things you should mention, you should consider, you know?
Yes.
Right, okay. Anyway, that's good enough, I guess. Let's go to part 2 and part 3 now. So I want you to try number 4 first. Easy one first. Describe a town or city that you would like to live in. You should say where it is, how you know about it, what it is famous for, and explain why you would like to live there. Okay, you have some time now. Okay, time's up now. Please describe a town or city you would like to live in, please.
Yeah, well, I'm going to share with you about the city that is Ha Long Bay, and it's a tourist city in Vietnam, where you know that Ha Long is famous for its beautiful bay, and also its majestic mountain, and also the beautiful islets. And well, you know that Halong Bay is a really nice place to visit in Vietnam, and it is one of the seven natural wonders in the world. And if I had the chance to live there, I would have the chance to enjoy its majestic view every day. And also, I found that uh, I, f- I, fi- I find that living there offer me a wide range of uh, a, hi- a wide range of chances to um, interact with tourists from different parts of the world, and for that reason I can learn a lot about them. I can have the opportunity to interact with different cultures, and also the food the food the cuisine there is really great, and it has a great cuisine of seafood, because you know Halong is a city near the it's a city, a beach city,
Is what? Is
and
what? Say again.
a beach city.
It's a beach city. Y kéo dài.
Beach,
It's a
yeah,
beach city.
it's a beach city, and also, um, I met one of my uncles there, and he said that the education opportunities there are really great um, for for students to nurture their knowledge, and also it helps them to interact with different cultures in the world, so that also maybe the price there is often high because it is a tourist destination, but it covers every human's needs. So I would love to live there because it's really comfortable and convenient, although
Uh-huh.
there might be some trouble in the high prices everywhere there.
Right, I see. That's why you wouldn't want to live there. To be honest, all the tourist cities are more or less expensive, you know.
Yeah.
And the price is often very high because of
Yes.
tourists, you know.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of social problems in there too. For example, there's a lot of crimes in tourist cities too. You wouldn't want to live there. Okay, so let's come to number 6 and finish this one. Tall building. Describe a tall building in your city that you like. You should say where it is, what it's used for, cái tòa nhà dùng nó làm gì, what it looks like, and explain why you like it. Miêu tả một tòa nhà cao trong thành phố mà bạn thích. And the part 3 of tall buildings. What are the advantages and disadvantages of living in tall buildings? Do you think there will be more tall buildings in the future?
Yes, absolutely.
Why aren't there many tall buildings in the countryside? Tại sao vùng quê lại không có nhiều tòa nhà cao tầng? Why do some people like to live in tall buildings or houses nowadays? I think this is quite an easy topic for you, so let's have some time to think first. Okay,
Yeah.
please describe a tall building in your city you like.
Yes. Well, I'm going to talk about the landmark 81, which
Everyone
is
talks about it.
yeah. Well, it's the highest building in Vietnam, and it offers many chances for businesses to make money, make money there. You know, because it's really tall. It's have various floors, so um, doing businesses there would offer huge range to to interact with different kinds of customers, and so that having a place there to sell things would be ideal for small businesses. And also, although I've never had the chance to visit there, but I remember many videos on YouTube that is about the food there, and you know is famous about the fact that a bowl of pho there uh, that is eaten high at the near the top of the landmark 81, and that costs a million Vietnam dong. But
It's
the
terrible
quality,
price.
yeah, well, but the quality of that bowl of pho is really reasonable. You know, like
What do you mean reasonable? Is it okay, or is it very high quality pho or something like that?
yeah, it's very because the quality of it of the bowl of pho is really it's really high, you know, like some wagyu beef, and also the broth is amazing, and also um, eating things with the view there that covers all the city. It's really great experience for everyone. So if I have the chance to visit it, I would love to spend my money on eating things high above, and it would help me to have stunning views there, and so that I would love to visit it in the future.
Mm-hmm. Right, so it's like a once in a lifetime experience, so it's actually okay to spend that much, you know. It's
Yeah,
like going to or going on vacation or something like that. A once in a lifetime experience, I think, because you wouldn't come back there.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's go to part three of tall buildings. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of living in tall buildings?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that when it comes to advantages, we can say that um, tall buildings have a great range of advantages. One of them is that we can share the space to live within just a platform, on just a narrow platform. You know, like the 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 what can I say? The population density in the city is really high, so that people have to share their space of living. So that living in tall buildings is ideal for everyone, and so that we can have not only we have stunning view of living there, but also we can enjoy many services of tall buildings, and also um, when it when it comes to the disadvantages, I would say that living in tall buildings have some drawbacks, like if we do not care about our children enough, it wouldn't fall from they would fall from a
They
high
would fall to their
position.
death, yeah, right? They would
Yeah,
fall from their death if we're not careful.
yeah. If
And
we
not
not
also
care,
children, but pets too, you know. Every month I hear there are one or two cases of
uh,
pets falling down from tall building and then they died, you know.
yeah.
Mèo chết, mèo chó chết rớt từ trên tầng cao xuống. It's
Wow.
terrible.
Ờ, à, em nghe nói mèo có thể rơi từ độ cao rất cao xuống mà không chết.
No, but actually they died. Đừng
Oh,
tin với nó. Of course they died.
yeah.
Of course they died. But
Yeah.
if there is something to help them land safely, like for example a swimming pool, then it would save their life. You
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
But
Uh,
normally no.
And yeah, so I believe when it comes to the disadvantages, I believe that if we do not care enough about our children, they can fall from they can fall from tall buildings, and that would definitely lead to their deaths. And
Mhm.
also, living mm, at a high position is not appropriate for those who afraid the mm, high that the big
Height.
height.
It's just a noun height. Từ độ cao lớn đúng không?
Yeah,
From a very tall, from a very great height.
yeah.
From great height. Từ độ cao rất cao. From
From
great height. But
great
we never
height.
say from high height, you know. We never say that.
Yeah,
From great height, yeah.
from great height.
Think about
So
security of living in tall buildings. Có an
uh,
toàn không? Có security không? Có sợ
well,
trộm cướp hay gì không?
and on some occasions when there's some problem like fire, you know, it would be difficult for people to evacuate when there's just one or two elevator. and so that um, ex- execute excavate what evacuate people from a tall age would meet a lot of would be really disadvantages, and for that reason, if there are any something that problem that happen from a high age, that would be really difficult for people to live. So that I believe that tall buildings do have a lot of disadvantages.
Right. But of course they are cheaper, and that's why I'm
Yeah,
here. That's why I'm living on the 12th floor.
yeah.
Cheaper. It's way cheaper than a house. Anyway, do you think there will be more tall buildings in the future?
Well, well, yes, definitely. Due to the due to the thriving economy, tall buildings would mushrooming in the future, and mushroom in the future, and so that even rural areas now in the future they would become town or cities, and so that there would be a lot of tall buildings in the future, because you know that if a country want to expand their economy, it would have to build a lot of tall buildings. And you can see that um, when we go to many developed countries in the world, we can see that they have a lot of tall buildings there, and the density of them is really great. It's really big, and so that I believe that many more tall buildings in would be built in the future.
Right. So why aren't there many tall buildings in the countryside then? Think about the population, the density, mật
Yeah.
độ dân số ha.
Well, you know that in the countryside, the population density is not so great, so they do not have to share. They do not have to share the space to live. So they have enough space for living, so they can build their own house, their own houses, and live there. And uh, tall buildings are just needed when they have to uh, when um, when the density there is so great that people have nowhere to put their businesses. Like in some centers they have only one small platform, and so that they have to build uh, multi-stories buildings in order to share that platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that I believe that in the countryside, there's no need to build tall buildings, and also building tall buildings there would lead to waste of money. Like the people there, they do not need those buildings; they have their own houses to live.
And
So
also, there's no need for tall building. Actually, chẳng có hề có nhu cầu luôn á. There's no need for
yeah,
tall buildings because there are a lot of lands for building houses. Why bother building tall buildings, right?
yeah. So
Tại sao lại
yeah,
phải phiền khi mà xây tòa nhà cao tầng như vậy, right? Why you have to bother, right?
yeah.
Okay, so why do some people like to live in tall buildings or houses nowadays? So you have to split into two different category now. Chia ra câu hỏi cho trả lời ra hai phần. Think about the age groups. Think about their interests. People like the view, they would live in tall buildings. If people don't have much money, like me, I would live in tall buildings.
Well,
Anyway, something like that. Think about it.
well. In my experience, I believe that those who love to live in tall buildings, they love to have stunning views, and also they love the convenience of the services there, and also living owning an apartment to live is pretty cheap when it is compared to build a whole new house. And for that reason, many people love to live in tall buildings for its reasonable price, and also the stunning views there. And when it comes to some complex, um, people living in tall buildings can enjoy convenient services there, and so that it's really great for people to live. And when it comes to people living in houses, I believe that they love to have their own security, and also they love to live on their own land, and like they have a house to go back when
Mhm.
to go back like when people so they have a house for family reunion, and
Uh-huh.
that's really great for people, for them. And also living in houses can offer people huge ranges, huge huge chances to um, build their own multi-story buildings, and they do not have to ask for other people. They do not have to ask for the officials, so for the city officials to do whatever they want with their house. So whenever they want to do something, they just carry out. So that's why I believe that there are many people love live in houses.
And also, if you want to bring furnitures or you want to bring items, big items or big
Yeah.
sized items into tall buildings, you have to register. Phải đăng ký với ban quản lý ghê lắm nha. You have to
Oh.
register with the management, of the building. And sometimes it's not that easy. Phiền hà,
Oh.
phức tạp lắm. It's actually quite a complicated process. But if you have your own house, you are actually in control of everything.
Yeah.
But the problem is the security. If you
Mm.
live in a house, people know that you have money, of course,
Oh.
and
Yes.
it can be dangerous if you have like burglars. Có thể nguy
Mm.
hiểm nếu có trộm vào đó.
Mm. Yeah.
All right, let's continue with say 11. We have 11. This is easy. I don't think you need to know to do this. So 17. There you go. 17 is hard. A bit harder. Okay, describe an art or craft activity that you did at school. Past tense, okay? Miêu tả một hoạt động nghệ thuật hoặc hoạt động thủ công mỹ nghệ bạn đã làm ở trường. Thủ công hay là hoạt động nghệ thuật gì đó. You should say what you made, how you made it, what it looked like. Explain how you felt about the activity. And then part 3 is about art, yeah? Do you think that the teaching of art in schools need improving? Why not? Anh chị có nghĩ rằng cái chuyện dạy cái nghệ thuật ở trong trường học cần được cải thiện không? Think about how many hours in a week, or do you think that people should have more activities, for example? Should vary the activity. Có nên là vary the activities or not? Activities nên biến thiên biến động, nó giống như là biến đổi hoặc là có nhiều hoạt động hơn không? Should vary activities. Like for example, they should allow people to choose what kind of art they want to do, something like that, instead of like forcing people to take only painting or maybe doing sculpture or something like that. Or what do you think? Does it need improving? What values can art bring to life? Nghệ thuật nó đem đến cuộc sống những giá trị gì? This is hard. Think about beauty. Think about it helps people to help people to develop their senses. Giúp con người ta phát triển những cái giác quan á, to be develop the senses. Bởi vì nhiều khi mà không phát triển mấy giác quan á, em nghe nhạc nào cũng như nhạc nào, nó nghe nó chán lắm. Nhưng mà nó phát triển giác quan, phát hiện được những cái sự khác biệt giữa chúng và thấy được cái đẹp của chúng. If you develop your senses through art, and when you look at art, you will see it in a different lens, in a different way compared to normal people who hasn't received, training of art. And you can see life, the beauty in life in a different way compared to without art, Think about development of moral values, những cái giá trị đạo đức nữa nha. It helps people to behave better if people appreciate art. Okay, do you think that children should be allowed to learn any forms of art that they like? Why not? Anh chị có nghĩ rằng trẻ nhỏ nó được cho phép học bất kỳ loại hình nghệ thuật nào mà chúng muốn không? Tại sao không? Think about sometimes children like exotic arts, like for example, tattooing.
Oh.
Yeah, you have tattoo artists,
Yeah.
Những cái nghệ sĩ mà vẽ lên hình xăm chẳng hạn, tattoo artists. But some arts, it's very expensive to pursue. Some arts are expensive to pursue, and it could break the bank. Nó có thể phá sản đây. It could break the bank if children follow those arts. Like for example, what art? Thích sưu tầm kim cương chẳng hạn. If someone like to collect crystals or collect expensive gems, that could be very expensive. And parents, most of the time, they could not afford it, right? So they should not allow children to learn that form of art. But of course, the freedom is still, there. Think about, có nhiều gia đình Việt Nam cấm cho con học art tại vì cứ nghĩ là cái gì, học xong sau này nó ra nó làm artist, nó nghèo gần chết, nó sẽ không sống nổi. A lot of Vietnamese parents think that if people learn art a lot, they will be artists and they won't be able to survive because artists are often poor, So it's related to this question. So next one, do you think they should make art compulsory in high schools and in college or university as well? Why not? Anh chị có nghĩ rằng con người ta nên làm cái môn nghệ thuật, cái art này là môn nghệ thuật nha, trở thành bắt buộc trong trường phổ thông và trong đại học cao đẳng nữa không? Tại sao không? Okay, you have some time to prepare for this. You say what? What do you say?
Nấu ăn nó cũng là một loại hình nghệ thuật đúng không ạ?
Yeah, cooking is also an art too. If you cook well, if you don't cook well, it's not an art. Yeah. Nấu ăn mà không ngon không phải là art. Còn nấu ăn ngon mà đẹp nữa, nó là art. Cái art có nhiều thứ lắm nha. Bất kỳ cái nào mà nó đẹp đẽ hoặc là nó có một cái điều gì đó mà cần kỹ năng cao á.
Yeah.
Well, anything that require high skill, for example, if you can make beautiful tattoos, that is an art. If you can make like leather craft, you can do leather craft and you can make beautiful items to use. That is an art too. As long as it's beautiful, I think. Miễn sao nó đẹp là nó art, I think. Thực sự là cái khái niệm với cái chữ art nó cũng khá là mông lung mơ hồ. The concept of art is actually quite vague, So, okay, let's focus. Okay, time's up. Alright, describe an art or craft activity that you did at school, please. Careful, past tense, okay?
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to talk about cooking bánh trôi, which is a traditional cake in Vietnam, and I had the chance to take part in this extracurricular activity for about 5 years ago when I was going on vacation with my school. And to make this kind of cake, I just used a cube of sugar and covered it with flour, and then boiled it until it flowed. And that's why it flowed. until it floats on the surface of the water, and that's why it is called bánh trôi, which means
It's
floating
float.
cake.
You mean float, right?
Yeah,
Float.
float. That's why it's bánh trôi is called is it is called bánh trôi, which means floating cake, and I enjoy the sweetness of it, and also it gave me a chance to broaden my knowledge about the traditional cuisine of Vietnam, and that's the experience once in a lifetime that I would never forget. And also in the future, I would love to make bánh trôi many more times in
Oh.
order to um, um, satisfy myself, and I can show my cooking skills with my loved ones. So
Oh.
that's why I love it so much.
Right. Okay. Great. Do you think that the teaching of art in schools need improving? Why or why not? To be honest with you, I think people consider the teaching of cooking. It's the teaching of cooking is actually a skill. Teaching was skill, but only if you cook very well and decorate the food well. That is an art. So I think, well, yeah, you know what I mean. Do you think that the teaching of art in schools need improving? Why? Why not?
Hmm. Well, I believe that it definitely need to improve. You know that in schools in Vietnam nowadays, they take art for granted, and few schools um, teach art, and they include art in their curriculum, and so that I believe that they definitely have to improve the teaching of art, and also due to their various advantages, like when it comes to art, students can learn about the history of art, and they can enjoy various kinds of art, and also they have a chance to improve and develop their creativity, and also
Creativity, right?
it helps them to develop to nurture their imagination, and also when it comes but there are some schools they teach you some kinds of art like food art, like but
That's rare, I think I've never seen food art being taught in schools ever.
but well food art are taught in schools that just appear on movies, and
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it also appear in the real world, and also um, but you know that there are few teachers who are skillful enough to be masters at art. So we just learn some information about art, but we can rarely have chance to practice art and call us an artist. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the teaching of art should be improved, but it cannot. But in order to become artists, students have to hone their skills uh, with a lot of effort put on them, and so yeah, that's why I believe that teaching of art can help future artists to nurture their skills and their talent.
Okay. Right. So, do you think that children should be allowed to learn any form of art that they like? Why? Why not?
Well, I believe that young children normally they would not be wise enough to make their own decision. And when it comes to art, you know, parents they are wiser, and they have they are rich in life experience. So I believe that parents they know what kinds of art should be taught on for taught to their children. So um, children should not be allowed to make their own decision.
Mhm.
Instead of that, parents they would decide for them what kinds of art they should learn. But also sometimes parents they should listen to their children to hear their voice, so that they can choose the appropriate kinds of art for their children to learn to study. And but there are
To
some
learn,
kinds
okay,
of
to learn, to study là học cái ngành đó luôn á, còn to learn
yeah,
là học cái kỹ năng. To
to
learn means to
learn.
learn a skill or knowledge, but to study means you study in a university. That's a major, you know. Be careful.
Okay, well, and besides there are a lot of exotic arts like tattooing, and that might not be appropriate for children to learn. So yeah, I believe that children should not be allowed to learn, should not allowed to learn any forms of art they like. They should follow their parents' decision and learn whatever kinds of art that their parents think that would be helpful for them.
I see. Do you think that okay? What values can art bring to life then?
Well, in my experience, I believe that arts appear in almost every aspect of human life. Um, you know, like everything that is exotic or is beautiful can be considered art, and also, and so that means arts is life. And also, when it comes to art, learners can develop their creativity and nurture their imagination. And also, you know, learning art help people to record the history. There are many potteries, some old potteries that
Pottery, you mean pottery?
yeah,
Ok, cái chỗ mà làm đồ gốm á. Pottery, I see.
pottery that they record the history of the period that they are created. And so that I believe that arts can also be a means of recording history. And so that I believe that arts is life, and it offers a wide range of values.
Right, I see. That is actually a good way to answer this question, I believe. Do you think they should make art compulsory in high school and in college or university as well? Why not?
Well, I believe that it should depend on whatever the student want to learn, because those who are in high school or in college, they are mature enough and they should be allowed to make their own decision. And for that reason, those who find art interesting, they can um, make the decision to learn that subject. But when it comes to those who find art no interesting at all, they can follow science subjects and learn on their own, so that they can become scientists and help to develop the nation. And so that I believe that it should depend on each person's decision to learn. And it's a fact that many schools nowadays they offer students the chance to make their own decision to register the subjects they want to
Register, anh
learn,
đầu. Register. To
to
register.
register to register the subject they want to learn. And so that I believe that they can include art in their curriculum, but they should not make it compulsory for everyone, because you know that it many people, they have
They
no
don't have
talent.
the talent. They don't have the
Yeah,
talent and the
they don't have the talent at art at all, so learning art can make them
and
feel like
dedication as
hell.
well. Cái sự tận tụy, cái
Yeah,
sự mà theo đuổi nữa. Like commitment, they
yeah,
don't have it.
they don't have the commitment, so learning art would just be a waste of time for them.
Exactly. Think about a lot of Vietnamese teachers. I mean, a lot of Vietnamese parents. They send their children to piano classes. You know,
Yeah.
oh, it's terrible.
Hmm.
I was once being in those classes, but I forced my dad, I forced my parent to let me quit. But then
Oh.
it's funny thing that when I was 14, I taught myself how to play the piano again, and until now it's been almost 20 years.
Oh.
It's funny, right? It's funny, right?
Yeah, that's funny. Play piano.
Mm-hmm.
Many of my friends, they learn how to play piano at the church, you know, and sometimes they play some music in the weddings, and that's really great. That's great. They can um, cua rất là cua gái.
They can woo girls. Or to
Yeah.
court girls, to court or to woo girls. But don't use those words in IELTS, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now, so do you think they should make art compulsory in high school and in college, university as well?
Well, I have just answered.
Oh, sorry, I just asked that one. Okay, good. Maybe let's see if we can do 19. It's natural talent. Okay, let's do this one.
Talent.
Describe a natural talent you want to improve. Miêu tả một cái tài năng bẩm sinh, một cái tài năng tự nhiên mà bạn muốn cải thiện. You should say what it is. When you discovered it. Bạn đã phát hiện ra nó lúc nào. How you want to improve it. And explain why you want to improve it. Okay, part 3 of talent. What types of talent do children often have? Trẻ nhỏ thường có những loại tài năng gì? What are the best ways to cultivate talent in children? Có những cách nào tốt nhất để mà nuôi dưỡng tài năng ở trẻ nhỏ? Is it possible for us to know whether children who are 3 or 4 years old will become musicians and painters when they grow up? Có thể nào mà biết được không? Liệu là trẻ nhỏ mà mới có 3-4 tuổi thôi nó sẽ trở thành là nhạc sĩ hoặc là họa sĩ khi chúng lớn lên hay không? This question reminds me of Adolf Hitler. He was rejected from art school in Austria, you know?
Yeah.
And then later on he became the man who redraw the map of Europe.
Yeah, that's right.
Vẽ lại bản đồ châu Âu.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's funny. Okay. Is it possible to know? Có biết cách nào biết được là mới 3-4 tuổi sẽ trở thành là nghệ sĩ hoặc là nhạc sĩ hoặc là họa sĩ không? Why do people like to watch talent shows on TV? Tại sao con người ta lại thích coi những show tài năng trên TV vậy? You know, most talent shows now is all about singing because that's all people are interested in. People don't care about all the talents. That is so bad, you know.
Yeah, that's terrible. A lot of talent like me.
It's absolutely horrible, though. Alright, so you have some time to think now.
Dẻo thầy.
Uống dẻo hả? You want to describe that talent? You want to flex? To flex my body. Uống cơ thể, uống dẻo cơ thể.
Like
To flex my body. Yeah.
Đan hai tay với nhau xong uốn ra đằng sau lưng mà không cần
to intertwine my fingers and then put it at the back of my body. and put it at the back of my body. Intertwine my finger and put it at the back of my body. I don't know if it's a natural talent, but
Well,
let's
it's
see.
hard. Well, yeah,
Okay, you
it
focus,
hard.
focus on this one then.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah.
Thumbs up. Describe a natural talent you want to improve, please.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm going to talk about my talent, that is flexing my body. And I figured out my talent when I was 10, and I was amazed at the flexibility of my shoulder, and for that reason, allowed it allows me to perform exotic movement with my shoulder, with my arm.
Exotic movement? What do you mean exotic movement?
Like I can perform some unique movements that
Uh-huh.
nobody around me can imitate, and
And you should
I
probably join in like these kind of sport classes, like or maybe you can do very well yoga, I think.
well, yeah, I can outweigh them, like I because the structure of my shoulder is quite unique, um and its structure is not so tough like other people, so it's like it doesn't connect to my uh, to my body at all, and so that is really strange, and also I have the talent to wrapping my legs around my neck, and that's quite weird. And if I hone my skill enough, I can definitely be a famous person in the circuit. And also, I would have the chance
Participate
to,
in
to participate
competition,
in
maybe?
competition like Vietnam Got Talent, or I can fly to Britain to attend the Britain Got Talent and to meet Simon, and
To
so
meet
that
the famous Simon Cowell.
yeah, yes,
And he'll be like, "Meep."
yeah, and
No!
so
Oh
that's
my
the
god.
reason why I would love to improve my skills and to hone my talent, so that I can have the chance to become a great artist in this a great artist in this field, and also I have the chance to become famous, and
Yes.
that's why I would love to um, nurture this natural talent of mine,
Why not?
but
Why not? Yeah?
I find it really boring, It's
What do you mean
just
boring?
like repeating similar exotic exotic movement every time, and I find it I can just do some those things with my body, and I can't make any new I can't make any new movement. And also, although my friends, they gave me a nickname that is mm, man with no bone, and so that I believe that is not funny at all, but so that I love to gain knowledge and
At least they
improve.
didn't say that you are spineless, không có xương sống.
Yeah, yeah. So
At least
so
they
that
didn't say that.
yes. So I believe that this talent is quite useless, and it cannot help me to make a lot of money in the future. So I can't
You
nurture
can make
it.
videos, you can make like videos showing your yoga moves. Why not?
Yeah.
And then you can earn money from that. Remember, this is the age of videos and photos and things like that.
Hmm.
Maybe
Okay.
try a TikTok, maybe try a TikTok channel.
Okay. Well,
And then
in
make
future I
videos,
would
short
try.
videos showing your moves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the
that's a
future
good
I would
way.
try.
Anyway, what type of talents do children often have then?
Well, in my experience, I believe that people seems to appreciate some common talent like singing or drawing, and some kinds of um, talent in music, so that many people they love, many parents they would love to
Send their
um,
children to music classes.
send their music, yeah, their children to music classes or art classes, so that with the hope that their children they have some talent in those fields, and so that in the future they can become famous artists, or they can become famous singer, or some famous composer. And for that reason, I believe that there are many types of talent, but there are some common one like common one in drawing or singing.
Mm-hmm. Right, I see. To be honest with you, everyone is talented in some way, but a lot of talent is just, not applicable to the human society, or it's not that useful,
Yeah,
to be
especially mine.
honest. Oh well, I'm not so sure. Maybe you should try to discover one more talent that you have, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Alright, but remember, this question regards children in general. Cái câu này nó nói về trẻ em nói chung thôi nha.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the best ways to cultivate talent in children?
Well, I believe that mm, parents should involve their children in many extracurricular activities, so that their children have the chance to to attend various kinds of activities, and so that they can gain
Mm-hmm.
experience, and also they can find about what they love and which field they have their talent in, so that the children they can they can figure out their ability, and so that they can understand themselves more, and so that I believe that cultivating their talent in those environment would be more easy, like if they have figured out their ability, or which field they have talent in, their parent would know, and so that they can find uh, an appropriate environment for their children to live in.
I see. Right. Okay, but that still seem a bit vague, don't you think? Nó nghe nó vẫn có hơi hướng gọi là chung chung quá. Like to
Yeah.
cultivate talents, then parents should maybe provide them with the best materials, the best classes possible, or the environment for them to show off those talents, Maybe. Like, give
Yeah.
examples. For example, if a child has a talent in singing, then parents should maybe take them to good teachers to cultivate that talent, and maybe try to bring their children to concerts or events and then show off their talent,
Yeah.
Okay, is it possible for us to know whether children who are 3 or 4 years old will become musicians and painters when they grow up?
Well, yes, definitely. You know that if anyone who are talent, they would show their talent at an early age. And for example, gì rồi nhỉ? Mozart, the
Mozart
famous,
actually showed his
yeah,
talent when he
Mozart.
was 2 or 3 years old, I think.
Yeah, so he showed off his talent at a really young age, at the age of 2 or 3, and for that reason, if I believe that if anyone who are talented in any kinds of painting, kinds of feel like painting or composing, they will
Music or
show,
playing music
yeah,
or something like that.
they will show their talent at a young age. So if anyone who show their talent, they would definitely become musicians and painters when
musician or painters when they
or
grow up.
painters when they grow up. Because I believe that if they have figured out their talent at a really young age, they would use all the material um,
But
to
sometimes, after some time, they might give up the talent and they might not become musician or painters. It depends. So it's not always black and white. Đâu
yeah
phải lúc nào nó cũng sẽ trở
man
thành musician hoặc painter đâu. Not always.
yeah that's right. It's depend. For
It depends on a lot
example,
of factors like environment, the education, and the society. Do musicians and painters earn well? No, not really.
yeah.
So sometimes they just give up their dreams and then give up the talent and then learn something, become an office worker, boring.
Yeah.
Do you know the man named Richard Clayderman?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know him. Okay, but anyway, he was born in France, and then up to a point he was very poor, and so he kind of gave up his music dream, and then he applied to work in a bank as a clerk. But then later on, he joined in a competition to play a piece of music, and he became famous for that piece of music. You might know who he is.
Who?
He's old now, but he's old now, but back then he was really famous in Vietnam. Everyone knows about him. About 30 something years old. Everyone knows about him more or less. He's
Wow.
called the Prince of Romance. Hoàng tử lãng mạn đó. He's the Prince of Romance. Very popular in Vietnam.
Sherry,
I
Sherry
mean,
lady.
not your age, but my age, and then up, plus 20 years, 30 years up. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
old now. Anyway, why do people like to watch talent shows on television?
Well, in my experience, I believe that they love to see something that is strange or that is something that is as outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like many people, they are really bad at singing, so they would love to watch somebody that is really great, really talented at singing, and so that for that reason they can appreciate and they can enjoy the thing, the value that the talented person they bring to their audience. So I believe that it's quite satisfying, and it's quite satisfying to watch talent shows on television, and because that's strange, and everyone they love something that is strange, that is exotic, that
Mm-hmm.
is uncommon in their environment of living. So I believe that's why they love to watch talent shows on TV.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, right, good enough, I think, for this question, for this topic. All right, let's try. Okay, 20. This is a part 2 only, but maybe you know how to do this one. Describe a tradition in your country. Miêu tả một truyền thống trong đất nước bạn.
Hmm. Truyền
You
thống.
should say what it is. Truyền thống gì vậy? Who take part in it? Ai tham gia vào đó? What activities are there? Có những hoạt động nào đó? And explain how you feel about it. Bạn cảm thấy thế nào về cái truyền thống đó? Oh well. Maybe I should rewrite this one like this. Okay, you have some time to think now. Describing time.
Well, I'm going to talk about the the tradition of celebrating Mid Autumn Festival in Vietnam, and it is held every middle of August, according to the lunar calendar. And to celebrate this festival, people just build up a tent and make a tray of 5 kinds of fruit and places on place it on the table and have a picture of alcohol being next to it, so that we can not only just celebrate the harvest, but also we can commemorate the Uncle Ho, which is a brilliant man in the history of Vietnam. And during these festivals, people love to chat and sing, to have the time um, to spend with each other. In um, many communes, they celebrate their own they set up their own tent, and all the people in the commune, they would come to the tent and celebrate this. They would chat and they would eat food. They would eat sweets and cakes. And also we have the tradition of creating lantern, and that's really funny. And also some kids, they would love to buy some water gun, and have the battle, then would create a battlefield, and that's really funny and that relaxing. And for that reason, uh, when attending this tradition, I find myself really relaxed, and I find this is really, really interesting, and it's offer a wide range of moral values. And I think this tradition would last forever in Vietnam until the end of my life.
Mm-hmm. I see. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. And all right, I would like you to try 22. Describe an event you attended in which you didn't like the music played. Miêu tả một cái sự kiện bạn đã tham dự mà bạn lại không thích cái nhạc mà nó chơi trong đó. You didn't like the music played. What the event was, sự kiện như vậy. Where you were, what the music was like, and explain why you did not enjoy the music. Tại sao mình lại không thích cái nhạc đó? Most of the time people would describe about wedding in Vietnam, It's terrible.
Event.
And then part 3 of music. What kind of music do people like at different ages? Ở nhiều tuổi khác nhau, con người ta thích những loại nhạc khác nhau nào? What kind of music is popular in your country now, and what kind will be in the future? Bây giờ thì có những loại nhạc nào thông thường thấy được ở đất nước bạn, và những loại nhạc nào sẽ thông thường trong tương lai ha? So you have to predict like type of music. Maybe in the future there would be much more like rap and rock music. Maybe no, I don't think so. Maybe just rap and then electronic music, maybe more EDM, maybe something like that. Do Vietnamese parents require their children to learn to play musical instruments? Why not? Những cha mẹ người Việt Nam có yêu cầu trẻ nhỏ của họ học cách chơi những nhạc cụ không? Tại sao không? This is well, all the time, yeah. Why do people like to listen to live music while others prefer recorded music? Tại sao một số người thích nghe nhạc sống, trong khi những người khác lại thích nghe nhạc mà ghi băng, đĩa? Think about the atmosphere of live music, and think about the sound quality, chất lượng âm thanh như thế nào. Think about the fact that the vibe, cái không khí, cái năng lượng, the vibe of live music, something like that. And also they can meet their celebrity, something like that. All right, you have some time now. Describe an event you attended in which you didn't like the music played, please.
Wow. I'm going to describe the opening ceremony of the Asian Cup 2019, and I had the chance to visit the stadium there and to enjoy the ceremony. I was sitting from high above and watching people dancing and enjoy the performance of famous singers there. And suddenly, um, the host, which was the UAE, they played their traditional Arabic music, and I find this type of music not interesting at all. Just personally, I find that the rhythm is
That's terrible.
is
Come on.
it's like it's like the music in the funeral of Vietnam.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah, I find that the Arabic traditional music, they are really uninteresting. They really like I don't have to say, but it's really disgusting. I believe that when it is applied in the sports like in the king sport football, it does not match with the vibe at all. You know, like people have to be really exciting. People have to be wild. They have to go wild. They have to they have to burn their souls um, to strengthen to burst about their spirit. But playing this kind of music, I find that it helps not only to lower the vibe, to lower the vibe, but also it makes me feel like I was at a funeral and
Not a
it was
wedding.
really bad, and so that I didn't enjoy the music and play there at all, and it's really disgusting, you know.
This is especially true in a lot of Vietnamese weddings. You know, a lot of weird people just sing whatever music they like. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of music do people like at different ages then?
Well, I believe that it depends on which era that they are mature. I mean, when people who are at the 80s, they would love maybe I don't know. When it comes to people who was born in the 50s or 60s, they would prefer rock music. And when it comes to those people who are um, in Vietnam, those people who are uh, 70s or 80s, um, who was born in the 70s or 80s, they would prefer the kinds of pop music like bolero, and
I think bolero is enjoyed by a lot of people in Vietnam, not just the
yeah,
old, I think.
yeah. So I believe that it depends on which age group, and when it comes to the young generation like me, many people they prefer pop music, and they really love K-pop, you know, which is global.
Blackpink or whatever,
Yeah,
something pink
uh,
is coming, you know.
yeah. They coming. It's create a lot of problem, and so
What
that
problems?
like some fans they are so wild that they want um, to borrow a huge amount of money, or they want their lover to buy them tickets to attend the concert, but the the ticket is so high, is so high price, you know, and many people they cannot afford, so that they can not afford it. So that's a case on the social media that a couple they got was broken due to the girl that her salary is just no, his boyfriend the boyfriend's salary is just 5 million per 5 million Vietnam dong per month, but she wants a ticket which is 8 or 9 million per month per million, and that's not worth. So they had a quarrel and they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe a problem. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so what kind of music will be is popular in your country now, and what will be in the future? What do you think? So you have to predict somehow too.
yeah. Well, at the moment, I find that some kinds of music like a bolero or pop music, especially the V-pop and the K-pop, they are really popular in my country, and they are enjoyed by the young generation. And when it comes to the bolero, it is more enjoyed by the adults. And in the future, I believe that mm, the pop music they would develop and would become more global, and they would improve more, you know. And there might be some kinds of music like EDM, or that would be there would be some kinds of music like you know, those things that they play at the bar, and that would be really become
Heavy
really
music, you
popular.
mean? More heavy music, or basically now in the bar they play EDM mostly, you know.
Yeah, they so that I believe that in the future the EDM would be really
What
popular.
is EDM? Electronic dance music.
Electronic dance music.
Hmm.
Wow.
EDM is
Now I
actually
know.
electronic
Okay.
dance music, nhạc nhảy điện tử. Hmm.
Oh, that's new.
So it's for dancing actually,
Okay.
and the thing here is like it's a trend now, so you know. Right,
Yeah.
so do Vietnamese parents require their children to learn to play musical instruments? Why not?
Well, it depends, you know. Many parents, especially those at cities, they love they prefer the fact that their children they have a talent in playing musical instruments, so they send their children to music classes, and to teach them how to play some kinds of musical instruments
Instrument,
and
instrument.
they can show off their talent, and they can boast about their children with other parents whose children do not have any talent in playing musical instruments at all.
Well, then
And
it's a terrible thing to
yeah,
compare children, you know.
yeah. So I believe that it would put a lot of pressure on children. And but it's the fact that many Vietnamese parents nowadays they love they require their children to play some kinds of musical and
Instrument.
instruments. But those who are at rural areas, they do not care much about musical instrument at all. So I myself living in a rural area.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Where are you living now?
well, I living in Nam Định and in Giao Thủy district, and which is a a beach a beach district. It's really famous, you know. It's a countryside, but there's just one or two town in my district.
Okay, good. Right. Okay, so the next question for you is why do some people like to listen to live music while others prefer recorded music then?
Well, in my experience, I believe that those who who prefer listening to uh, live music, they would love the vibe, they love the atmosphere, to be there and to screaming when they see the singer, and they can dance with other fans, and the vibe is really great. It might cause somebody who have just gone to concert the first time become addict, and that would be really terrible because they
Addicted,
would
you
love,
mean?
yeah, they would it would be make them become addicted, and then
Hmm.
they would addict the vibe, and they would spend much money more on
Many,
concert,
many, much more a lot more money. A lot
a
more
lot more
money.
money, a lot more money a lot more money on concert tickets in the future, and that would lead to some kinds of waste of money. And but the vibe is great. And when it comes to those who love recorded music, you know that those people who are they they do not love crowded places, and also they prefer the quality of music more. You know, when we hear a live music on the live stage, the fans they would singing, or they would screaming, and that's making the
Screaming and dance and screaming, and then they actually faint to, faint.
yeah.
Ngất
And
xỉu, they faint too.
they faint. And
Oh, they're like, oh.
uh, so that
People is always like that.
the experience of listening to music would become disrupting, and that's not satisfying at all. And so that many people they prefer recorded music in order to enjoy the whole quality of the music, so that they can relax and chill. You know,
Nah, don't
especially
use the
those.
word chill in IELTS, okay? This is slang, từ lóng nha. The chill is a slang. Just use the word to spend, to enjoy their life, enjoy their time, yeah?
Okay, to
To
enjoy
enjoy
their
their
time.
time, okay? To enjoy their time there.
Okay.
All right, so good enough. Let's move on to the next one then. 33 then, I think.
Blackpink.
Do you like sports?
Yeah.
Okay, then should be able to describe this one, I think. Number 33.
33.
Describe a live sports event you watched before. Miêu tả một sự kiện thể thao mà live luôn á, mà mình đã xem trước đây. Coi live tức là không phải là chỉ ghi âm lại, chỉ ghi hình lại, mà nó là coi trực tiếp luôn. Live sports event you watched before. Say again.
Live?
I think this one live sports event means you go to the stadium and you watch that event, you know.
Yeah.
Mình đến cái stadium, mình đến cái sân vận động luôn, xong rồi mình coi luôn á.
Okay.
And then you should say when it happened, where it took place, who you watched it with. Explain how you felt about the experience. Cái trải nghiệm mà mình làm mình cảm thấy thế nào. And then part 3 of sports events. Do you prefer to watch live sports or watch it on TV? Bạn thích coi thể thao sống luôn, live luôn, hay là thích coi trên TV? But you should explain why. What's the difference between the two, you know? In case of, it's very similar to, music event that we talk about. Nó rất là giống cái music event luôn á. Cái không khí nó cũng giống y chang rồi đó.
Yeah, that's right.
Why do some people like to watch live sports? Tại sao số người lại thích coi thể thao live mà chứ không thích coi trên TV không? Why do they have spent time buying tickets, very expensive tickets to see sport event, you know?
Yeah.
What kinds of sports do Vietnamese people like to watch? Người Việt thích coi những loại thể thao nào? Do you think competition is good for students? Anh chị có nghĩ rằng cái chuyện cạnh tranh á, hoặc là các cuộc thi á, thì là tốt cho sinh viên, học sinh hay không? What would happen without competition? Would students want to learn, you know? Okay, you have some time. Okay, describe a live sport event you watched before, please.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about a football match between Nam Định Football Club and Hoàng Anh Gia Lai Football Club. It was held at the Thiên Trường Stadium, and I had the chance to watch it lively, and it was about.
I had the chance to watch it live.
Yeah, I had the chance to watch it live, and it was about 3 years ago when I first come to a live sport event. When I first came to a live sport event, and that's a unique experience to me, and I was really amazed at the vibe there when I see the cheering, when I hear the cheering,
when I saw
when I saw and I heard the cheering sound of the fan club, and also I had the chance to watch my idols in skin and bones on the playing field, and that's great experience. And especially I had the chance to watch my hometown club competing uh, competing in V League, and so and um, I can marvel at the player's skills, and I can go from high go from high mood to down mood when the opponent team scored a goal, and but that's memorable, and
Memorable, memorable.
mem- but that's memorable, and there are some uncles so sitting near me. Uh,
Uncle.
they smoke too much, and that's really harmful for me. So I had to uh, it made my experience terrible, so that I had to find another seat to enjoy the match. And but that thing does not affect my experience of enjoying the match at all. And so that this experience would become a memorable event, and I would never
Memorable.
a memorable event, and I would never forget it until the end of my life.
Mm-hmm. Until life ends. Alright, let's go to part 3 of sports event now. Do you prefer to watch live sports or watch it on TV?
Well, personally, I would love to watch it on TV, because you know that in order to watch live sports, people have to queue up queued for a long period of time, and the price of tickets may be really high, and for some people it might not be affordable, and also um, watch it lively, can um,
Watching it
experience.
live. Live thôi nha. Watching it
Okay.
live. Just a moment, please.
Oh. You forgot to pause the recording. Shoo. Meow, 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 meow. Wow.
What's that? Who just died and say wow?
I just tried to call your kitten, your cats.
My kitten won't respond to weird meow, They won't respond.
Okay.
And they are very suspicious of strangers. Just like I do. They're very suspicious of strangers, just like I do. They are both friendly and suspicious.
Oh.
Vừa nghi ngờ người lạ mà lại vừa thân thiện. Just similar to how I am.
Wow. I just tried to call your cats.
Alright, so let's continue a little bit. Do you prefer to... Okay, so why do some people like to watch live sports then?
Well, I believe that they love the vibe, they love the atmosphere there, and they love the chance to cheer with the fan, and they can enjoy, they can marvel at the players' skills on the field, and so that would be a great experience for them, and that would be really memorable.
Memorable, I'm down. Memorable. Okay, I think I have to cut that last part that you meow or whatever you did because I forgot to turn off the camera.
Yeah, I said so.
I forgot to turn it off. Anyway, I don't think it's a matter that much. People will comment this and that, but who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, so next. So what kind of sports do Vietnamese people like to watch?
Well, in my experience, I believe that...
Well, not wow. Well...
Well, I believe that Vietnamese people prefer a wide range of sports, like football, volleyball, basketball, or swimming.
Any kind of ball.
Yeah, and many other kinds of sports. So I believe that they love many sports that is familiar with their life, and so that they can enjoy, and they can play those sports, and they can marvel at the players' skills, so that they can learn and better their skills on the playground.
I see. Right, so do you think competition is good for students?
Definitely. Competition helps to build a competitive spirit in each student, and not only does it benefit students on the playground, but it also helps students to focus better on their jobs, on their work at school, and also it helps them to maintain a competitive
spirit. Okay.
To be...
I think that's good enough, I think, for today. Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh để đăng ký kênh để mà các bạn sẽ được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình, nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.